Hi, and welcome to the Trucking Scribe. It's Faith Friday. We're talking about Psalms 2 today. It's a really interesting chapter. We're also, instead of doing diamond painting, I'm working on this. So I've got this part done. I did this marking. So I hope you enjoy the video. Hi, and welcome to Faith Friday. I've been doing diamond painting, but today I'm going to work on my Sashiko bag. We're going to do our second chapter in Psalms. So we're doing a chapter a week in Psalms and just kind of reading it and thinking about it. So we did one last week. Now we're going to do two. Why are the nations so angry? Why do they waste their time with futile plans? The kings of the earth prepare for battle. The rulers plot together against the Lord and against his anointed one. Let us break their chains, they cry, and free ourselves from slavery to God. But the one who rules the heaven laughs. The Lord scoffs at them. Then in anger he rebukes them, terrifying them with his fierce fury. For the Lord declares, I have placed my chosen king on the throne in Jerusalem, on my holy mountain. The king proclaims the Lord's decree. The Lord said to me, you are my son. Today I have become your father. Only ask, and I will give you the nations as your inheritance, the whole earth as your possession. You will break them with an iron rod and smash them with clay pots. Now then, you kings, act wisely. Be warned. You rulers of the earth, serve the Lord with reverent fear and rejoice with trembling. Submit to God's royal Son, or he will become angry and you will be destroyed in the midst of all your activities. For his anger flares up in an instant, but with what joy for all who take refuge in him. So this is my Beauty of God journal, but because we did one week in Genesis, so that really just started the whole Psalms out for us. I do not have Psalms 1 in here. I'll have to find my notes. Psalms 2 is one of the royal psalms in the book of Psalms, traditionally attributed to King David. The psalm is often interpreted as a messianic psalm, foretelling the coming of a divinely appointed king who will rule with God's authority. The structure of Psalm 2 can be divided into 4 distinct parts, each conveying a powerful message about God's sovereignty and the futility of opposing his will. The Psalms begin with a rhetorical question: why do the nations conspire and the peoples plot in vain? This opening line sets the tone for the rest of the Psalms, highlighting the absurdity of human rebellion against God. The psalmist describes how kings and rulers of the earth band together against the Lord and his anointed one, seeking to break free from what they perceive as divine constraints. This rebellion, however, is depicted as ultimately futile and doomed to fail. The psalm's second part shifts the scene to the heavens, where God responds to the rebellious nations with laughter and desertion. The Lord's reaction underscores his supreme authority and the impotence of earthly powers in the face of divine will. God declares that he has installed his king on Zion, his holy hill, affirming his chosen ruler's legacy and divine appointment. In the third section, the anointed king speaks, recounting the divine decree God gave him. So the anointed king here is actually Jesus. The Lord tells the king, you are my son. Today I have become your father. This declaration establishes a special relationship between God and the king, often interpreted as foreshadowing the coming Messiah. The king is granted authority over the nations. He has promised victory over his enemies, symbolized by the imagery of breaking them with a rod of iron and dashing them to pieces like pottery. The final part of the psalm serves as a warning and invitation. The psalmist admonishes rulers and kings to serve the Lord with fear and rejoice with trembling. They are urged to kiss the Son, a gesture of submission and loyalty, lest they incur God's wrath and face destruction. The Psalms concludes with a message of hope and blessing for all who take refuge in God, affirming that true happiness and security are found in trusting the Lord. Psalms 2 presents a powerful depiction of God's sovereignty and the ultimate triumph of his anointed king. It serves as both a warning to those who oppose divine authority and a promise of blessing those who seek refuge in God. My notes for today was that this psalm talks about God's chosen king, which is Jesus. So Psalms 2 talks about God's chosen king, who is Jesus. It is a prophecy Psalms, whereas Psalm 1 talks about the laws of God. So Psalms 1 and 2 complete the gateway intended to be together. Both are the focus of how the whole Old Testament moves. So I've got to put a little notation there, 19. That means page 19 in this book. How to Read and Understand the Psalms by Bruce K. Walchuk and Fred Sasfeld. I got this on Amazon. I'll leave a link below. So Psalm 1 is talking about who the Psalter is meant for. So it's meant for the righteous people. Psalms 2 is who it speaks of, which is the king, and Jesus is the king. So you got who the Psalter is meant for the righteous people, and who it speaks of. It talks about Jesus. An introduction, to the Lord's reign. So the kind of the framework that's set up for the Psalms. So 1 through 3 talk about the nations and them trying to come together and fight against God. Then 4 through 6 right here is where God's laughing at them and saying, no, y'all are not going to triumph over my chosen king, and God has placed him there for a reason. So God's laughing at him. So then 7 through 9, telling what God has told. Jesus is speaking, telling what God has told him. So right here is Jesus speaking. The king proclaims the Lord's decree. The Lord said to me, you are my son. So right there, God said, Jesus, you're my son, and today I become your father. So the father of Jesus. Only ask, and I'll give you the nations as your inheritance, and the whole earth as your possession. You will break them with an iron rod and smash them like clay pots. So then we get to the last part, 10 through 12. David is addressing the nations now, telling them that the Lord should be feared and they should submit to God's royal son, who is Jesus, or he's going to become angry and take it out on the people and destroy them all. So really am enjoying the Psalms. So like I said, with the beauty of God, which will have the information in the description below, we have a free Bible study that Samantha from Beauty and Books Co., myself, and 8 other wonderful, talented creators are working on this Bible study. Some of them are doing the Bible study. Some of them are just showing the kits. So whichever they felt most comfortable in. This free Bible study, you can get it also at the link below. I've got Genesis 1. Then we're doing Psalms 8. 19 is next week. And then 104 will be the end of the month. So what I'm doing, since this is expandable, is I am putting in my Psalms that I'm working on to go with the other Psalms as part of the Bible study. So I need to get one. I got to figure out where my notes are because I don't remember. I know I had them. But I hope you enjoyed the Bible study. So last week, we cut this out to make a bag out of just an old pair of blue jeans. We sewed around the outer perimeter to give us markings, because you can see right now, I can see that chalk line going up through there, but it's going away. So then I worked on this part, and what we used what I had for the pattern for last week was this one. We tried this piece of junk pen, the pencil, that just is not writing on these blue jeans. It may write on something else, but it's not working on this. So then we tried this chalk pen, which has a roller, a wheel on it right here. You can see it, and it does a really good job making lines. The problem is if I'm using these stencils, it was hard to see the lines. So I looked into it. This was recommended. It's a white marking pen by Clover. I was told that from what I wasn't told exactly, but from what I could understand is you need to let this dry before it'll show up. So I'm figuring, when you see. And I got this on Amazon. That's my usual store. So I'm over here writing outside of not that it matters, this is supposed to be removable. See if I'm going to get it to do anything. Oh, you know what? I forgot you got to wait. Let's see. Something about using the iron. Now, Marion, I was watching her because she's the one that had this. She was saying it did have to dry. And I can see right here that there is ink coming out, but for whatever reason, I'm not seeing it. So anyway, this part we're not doing. We're doing this part up here. I see a little bit coming up there. So what I want to do, and I wonder if I can do it like this. Try and get some of this chalk off. So if you rub the chalk, it'll come off. A lot of people said they wasn't really sure how to mark on blue jeans. Okay, so we did that one last week. I was thinking about doing this one, so that means I need to do, because I'm doing it on blue jeans, I may wait on this and do it on something else since I'm having trouble with my marking, because this way I can just mark them in. Which one y'all think? I do like this one, but I don't know. If I turn it around, I could do. So I do have a picture. I'm going to put it on the screen right now and let you see it. I will have, what I'm wanting to do, I think, is put red right here like a French knot. I do want to mark this line so I can see where it's at again. Because what I'm going to do to cordon these off, or what would you call it? Cordon them off or section them off. I'm going to draw. Actually, I'm going to probably do embroidery so it'll show up good. And I may wind up taking some of this out. I don't know yet. So we've got a little over 8 inches. So we could do, actually I'm going to do 2.5, which would come to right here. I'm going to do 2.5, and that will leave me 1, 2, 3. That math ain't right working. Yeah, it is. So I'm going to line my little red mark right there up, and I'm going to draw me a line that I can see. Then I'm going to come on this side. There's white. I see it. So it is after it's drying. So I've been doing Faith Friday. I've been doing the diamond painting. But because I want this done, so what I'm looking for is right here is the line that's going down, and then right here is one that's going up. So I would cut off. There it is. So yeah, that would make a full pattern if I followed it all the way around. So I'm gonna bring it down almost to there. Well, let's get it in between the marks, I think. Yeah, right about in there. And I'm gonna mark my registration marks with this and see how that works. And what I'm gonna do is just follow these lines. I don't know if this is working or not. I may wind up having to try and draw some lines on here. And it may be this fabric is not helping because it is stretchy. So I definitely need to get one row and stay on that row because it's not showing up yet. And this pen is just barely, if it's getting in there, it's going to surprise me. I'm really tempted just to, see, I can see it here, I can see it there. I don't know if it's going to show up enough. So we're going to wait on that for a few minutes. I'm liking that as it's coming up. See if I can get it back on there right. So we will just keep going and just know that it's going to have to sit here. So I'm just going to keep doing this all the way down. I'm going to go one row at a time because if not, I won't know where it's at. I am wondering how you would do the grids if you were trying to do this and you couldn't see, because that was what Miriam was saying. She just could not see the pen when she was drawing the lines, and it made it harder. And I can see it's taking a while. So if I was trying to do it with my my ruler, I'd be in a mess of trouble and I wouldn't be able to see it. If I'm with this particular pattern, if I'm pulling it towards me, it's not going good. If I start where I'm at and go away from me, that's going pretty good. So that's why it was going better. So that's showing up some. I'm going to try this. It did seem to make a difference when I put that extra layer under it. It seemed a little bit better getting in there. I thought about putting it in front of the blow dryer. And I thought no, because the heater is supposed to get rid of it, so that won't work. So what I'm going to do over here, I'm going to go ahead and draw these lines, but it may go into the other side. You know, this pattern feels better. Let's see what else I got. Might be easier to go on this other side. This one. I can see some lines coming up now. I am really thinking about, I want to try this on regular fabric where I can see the lines. You know, I can draw lines on it a lot easier than what I'm doing right here. I think it would make a big difference. And it might be some of it that these pants are stretchy and maybe the denim, but I picked them because they were a darker blue, and I thought, well, you know, the darker it'll show up. Even though that's not what I'm seeing here, but so I do like these little stencils, especially if I had something lighter to do this in, like a friction pen or something. Even that ballpoint is a little rough going in there. I'm going to do a little sewing. I really kind of wish, I'm wondering if I can do anything right in there with the pockets being on. Like, well, I could, but if I went straight through, but I want to keep that pocket, so I don't know. That's something I can check on. So since I want to go left to right, I'm going to start right here and go across. I'm just going to go right over there and pick up a stitch, turn it around and go back the other way. I like hand sewing when my hands let me. Stuff like this I just absolutely love when it comes out of a pattern like that. Quilting, I love the patterns that quilting does, but hand quilting takes a while. I can do that too, but it takes me forever because I have it on a hoop. I could do it like with no hoop. That's what I'm doing with my big messy big stitch quilt that I got. So I'm seriously thinking about doing Monday, Wednesday, and Friday for videos, because I think Friday I'm wanting to do something different on at least one day of the week. And while I like the diamond painting. I like this more. I think I would rather do that. So then if I needed to, that would leave Tuesday and Wednesday open during the week. But that way I can kind of think about what I want to do, which I already think about what I want to do. So I'm just going to go past that little red line and come back over here. And then when I sew it together, that'll go over it. So I'm just taking and rocking the stitch back and forth. Now I'm not doing it the traditional sashiko way. One reason is because my hands hurt, and trying to get that many on a needle, I don't think my hand would be able to do that. It might, but not on this, and I don't know on a bigger piece, because what I've been watching, some of them are bigger pieces that they're using. Faith Friday, I have started, we're doing the Book of Psalms right now, which is going to take one a week. That'd be like 2.5, almost 3 years of Bible study, of reading the Book of Psalms. But I thought it would be a good thing to do because I could plan a little bit better, and then you could go back and you could see what, if you missed something. And that's coming out better now. So I can see a little bit of a line there. I don't think I'm going to put a stitch there because it'll get covered up. Chrissy gave me where'd it go? So I asked Chrissy what she had for marking lines. She does embroidery. This is some kind of sticky stuff that you put on it, which seems to be doing good. The only problem is it hurts my hands to sew this. But basically, once you get done sewing, is you take and put it in water, and this dissolves. So I tried that. Didn't really like it too much. I'm going to jump right over here, and I'm going to grab this. So my stitches some are big, some are little. When I get in a rhythm, I do a lot better with the same size, but, it's kind of like junk journaling. You don't have to have perfection. That's what makes it the prettiest is the imperfections. So I'm making some Kintsugi, Kintsugi, which is a Japanese word, and I'll put it up so you can see it. It's the art of putting broken porcelain back together. So that if they break a bowl or something, they put it back together. They take all the pieces and glue it back together with gold leafing, gold paint or glue, and it's making the bowl or the plate, whatever it is that they're putting back together, it's making it stronger. So the brokenness, the healing of the Kintsugi actually is a good thing, because when you have a scar, I know I got something right there. When you got a scar, once it heals, that little bit of area is stronger than the rest of your skin. And so that's what they're saying about the Kintsugi. So when you go through hard times and stuff, just think as you're getting mended back up with God, He's making you stronger each time. So I thought that was really cool when I learned that. I'd never heard of Kintsugi until December Ember, I can't even say it, Louise and Barbara last year, because I tried to do that and I was having trouble keeping up. I want to do actually a Bible study on Jesus's birth this this December. So I'm going to stop right here on this line, and I'm going to take 2 double lengths of this here. In a few minutes, I'm just going to go ahead and mark my lines since this is showing up where I can see it. But that was one of the prompts for December Ember was Kintsugi. I think it was Kintsugi House. So I did 2 different ones, and I used hot glue and some gold wax stuff. They turned out pretty good. I thought they looked really good anyway. I would like to work in that a little bit this year. But if I do the Bible study that I'm thinking of, it's 31 days on the Nativity of Jesus. If I could get started early, which would be good, like during that time I could do every day maybe, or either that or I can cut it down and not do that many. So that is a thought. If you have any thoughts on it, let me know what you think about just doing a smaller Bible study instead of one every day, like the Advent. I don't know. That was, I try to do that and I just get totally burnt out within a week or two. And sometimes I can put these videos out quicker than others. It just depends on how I'm feeling, how motivated I am. So y'all know what? This is going to be upside down because this is going to be the bottom. And that's going to be the top, but that's okay. We'll just have upside down shells. We're going to say that's Kenzuki, and that's the way we made it. We broke with the pattern and we're making it stronger. Either that or I can say, I am the designer, so this is my design. This is what I wanted. Y'all ever done that? I'm going to come over here and do this one. I like how this came out when it started drying. So just double up or maybe even triple up your fabric with those stencils in this blue jean material. Or check and see how yours does, because like I said, this is stretchy, so it may have needed a little bit more cushion underneath. So I finished the clam shells. They're upside down, so it'll actually look like this when we get done. That's okay. They look alright. I'm not doing them over. So what I'm fixing to do is I'm going to take 2 strands of thread and mark my edges to kind of have like a mark here. And I might just put a little strip of fabric right there. I don't know, because I wanted to. I know Marion has, she has put fabric on hers. So that is a thought, is to put a piece there and kind of open it up a little more. That's a lot longer. Looks better. So I did see you're supposed to leave like a loop, and I haven't been doing that. I forgot all about it. Because of the tension of your thread, as you use it and wear it, the tension will get off. I don't think I'd want to do this double-stranded very long. I think it will set off our, I don't know, it may not. I may have to go back and just do another stitch over these stitches that I'm doing right now, connect them so it's a full line. So I think what I am going to do is turn back around and go back and get that stitch that I didn't get. So kind of like this. I may have to get my thimble. What I'm trying to do is make it a bold line. Yep, I think that's going to work. Make sure you leave me a comment so I know what you're thinking about all this and what else you might want to see, whether it's sewing or books, journals. I do knit and crochet. I don't know how good I would be at trying to teach it, but I have. So leave me a comment, hit the like button, and if you're new here, hit that subscribe button so you can get notified that I'm putting videos up.